Today we're talking with Adrian Hubbard, Manager of Interior Glass Systems at Press Glass, about designing for architectural success when collaborating with architects on interior glass system designs. Welcome, Adrian. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Thank you, Bree. My name is Adrian Hubbard. I have been with Press Glass for almost 5 years. I started out as one of our estimators, worked my way through the company, learning all processes from the production to our quality, making sure that I understood all of what Press Glass could offer.
What's one of the biggest misconceptions you see when reviewing heavy glass designs?
That if the design can be drawn, then it can be fabricated. While glass has came a long way and is impressive now, we can do so many different designs and fabrication, there are still structural and fabrication needs that must be met. So having those early conversations will allow us to make sure that we're staying structural as well as meeting.
Why is it important to involve your glass fabricator early in the design process?
Early conversations allow us to review the feasibility of the project design. We can discuss your fabrication limitations, and we can help to align your expectations before drawings are finalized. Working together early can help us minimize the need for redesign and help keep projects moving efficiently.
Are there common design details that create challenges?
One example is the jewel box style enclosure systems. While these are amazing looking systems, there's often a lot that goes unthought about. The structural needs. Are we making sure the glass isn't floating? What is it tied to connect it to the building? These are things that we have to often sit down in the early design to make sure we're meeting the design as well as the structural needs.
How do Ghana recommendations impact heavy glass projects?
Making sure that we are following the Ghana recommendations will allow us to have the hardware needs as well as the safety of the glass. Yes, the design may ask for glass that's oversized, but there are requirements to meet with the hardware that we have to follow. Ghana gives us those guidelines to make sure that we're staying within the specs to meet the design, but as well as the safety and the structural integrity.
Does hardware selection make a difference?
It does, because if you're mixing hardware vendors, then you're going to run into the problem of having different finishes. Finishes will ultimately decide if the design is met, and if you run into having different finishes that are different colors, then your design's really not met. As well as there are capabilities within each vendor that limits us to what we can actually put together.
What role does structural engineering play?
It is imperative in glass design. We are not structural engineers. Having a structural engineer will allow us to make sure that we're staying safe. Are the loads weight bearing correct? Are we able to meet the design need both on the side of what does the glass need to look like as well as if the hardware is meeting that capability? We can help you with the design, we can help you with setting up a structural engineer, but we cannot help you be the structural engineer. So having one early in the project will allow us to make sure all sets and all crosses are met.
What do you mean by crosses?
Well, here inside, what we do is we make sure that we are doing Ghana recommendation and the vendor specifications. So are we meeting it on both of the crosses? Is this design Ghana safe as well as vendor capable? And if we can meet the cross, then we know that we have more than likely been successful for the structural design.
What's your advice for architects designing heavy glass systems?
Think of us as one of your design partners. You can come to us and say, hey, this is our idea. How can we make this be met? We're able to give you the Ghana recommendations. We're able to give you a design based off of what we can do. When you work with us and your structural engineer, we can take your design to a whole nother level. Early conversations will help this to eliminate back and forth on redesign, as well as having to do constant remakes and reapplications.